For some time, I've been suggesting to all of you that you have an opportunity to come and tell me your stories because I believe the stories that we hold are important. There's story. Everyone has a story that needs to be told, I think, to some extent, no matter who you are. And this is a wonderful opportunity to speak to a wonderful man who's dealing with some issues in his life which many of us would imagine that we would never encounter. And today, this man is Phil Hazell. I just wish to say before I continue, please remember to subscribe to my channel, ring the bell for further notifications. Let us know what you think. And if you want to have a conversation with me about how your life has unfolded, I'll be more than happy to do that. But at the moment, the most important person in our life happens to be this particular gentleman, Phil. Welcome, Phil. Welcome to the show, mate.
G'day, Tony. Thanks for having us. I appreciate it.
That's good. I do need to tell people before we start that little known that you didn't know that I was actually your cousin.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. You
Yeah.
mentioned it to me earlier and you just blew me away. But then some of it came, my long-term memory's good. So
Oh,
I was
good.
able to realise what was going on. But yeah, what a hoot.
Yeah, that was a surprise to. I wasn't too sure when I first contacted Phil. I wasn't too sure as to whether he knew actually who I was. We knew about him. My wife and I knew about him because my wife in particular has been following him on X for a long time and knew more about his partner and his dog passing on a year or so ago and everything. I knew a lot about Phil, but Phil didn't know anything about me, and that was just odd to
Yep.
say the least. So, Phil, I wanted to see whether we could have this conversation, I guess, about your life.
Yep.
Now, any particular part that you want to start with, just start with it.
Well,
That's fine, but just go for it. Just tell us a bit how your life has been and the advocacy work that you do in the organisation you're associated with.
yeah. Well, originally I was born in Wallaroo, just outside of Kadina in South Australia. Dad was an optometrist in Kadina and he used to visit a lot of the local towns. I worked with him as an optical dispenser in Adelaide, and then I bought practices in Perth and had those for about 7 years. Then I was doing a 65-hour week and realised there's more to life than chasing the dollar. Um, and then I did a lot of other things, camping and travelling Australia. And at about 56, I think, 57, I'm not 100% sure, Jan noticed that my memory was failing, mainly short-term memory, and also getting confused. So then we decided, we saw the GP, and the GP um, referred us on to a specialist, and they conducted tests over about 2 or 3 visits and said, at the end, you won't believe this, they just said, oh, you better go and get your affairs in order. That's all they
Mm.
said. And we walked out bawling our eyes out because we didn't know anything about dementia. And as when he said, get your affairs in order, I thought, oh, hell, this is going to happen really quickly. But then we,
Did he offer any further explanation as to
no,
why he said that?
no.
Oh my God.
Now, this is not unusual. I have a lot of dementia friends, and it's not unusual at all. It's really disappointing, but I've met a lot of great doctors since then. I've got a great GP, and I have a neurologist that is with me. It helps, I guess, measuring where I am.
Hmm.
Certainly now my short-term memory is a bit of a struggle. Um, if I read a message on Twitter, for instance, and then I go to the next one to read, well, I've forgotten the one before. But it doesn't mean I haven't got enjoyment from all the replies
Mm.
I have on Twitter. Sometimes I get, 400 or 500 replies, and I read every single one. I can't reply, uh, but it gives you that great feeling at the end. So I do get a lot out of it.
Can you come back to that moment where you and your partner were told that
Yep,
you had dementia,
yep.
and you left that moment upset and distressed about that? That's a terrible thing, I think, for any doctor to say to anybody. But can you explain what was your next step? Like, what did you do after that?
Um, we, um, I think I searched dementia and came up with Dementia Australia. And we contacted them and they invited us in for a meeting with two of them, and we basically went over our history, what had been going on, and they asked me would I like to be an advocate for Dementia Australia. And I said, hell yeah, that's going to give me something to do. And within about 6 months, I was the chair of the Dementia Australia Advisory Committee, uh, where we advised the board and the management of Dementia Australia on certain aspects of getting the word out to people that want information on dementia. That went for 4 years. I also do a lot of travel for speaking engagements. Um, I've done neurology, I've done um, psychologists, I've done uh, groups from all different areas. And it gives me the opportunity to let people know that because you have dementia, life's not over.
Mm. Mm.
There's still an amazing amount of things you can do, which I do it.
Yeah, yeah, you're sort of the walking, talking proof of just that, aren't you? Do
Yeah.
you think that, how do people view you? Like when you tell people that you've got dementia, do
That's
they
a
have a negative version of who you should be and how you should present?
um, that's a really good question. I lost all my friends
Oh my God. Yes.
because um, a lot of them said, "Oh, you don't have dementia. You know, you sound okay," and all the rest of it. And after a while, they just all petered out. And that, I think, was the most excruciating thing I've been through since I've had dementia. So I basically put those people in the freezer and made a whole lot of new friends through my advocacy with Dementia Australia.
Is that
So,
is that like a common way? Do you think the way that people started to view you, is that the common way that people view people with
yeah,
dementia? So what is
yeah.
it? What is it? Do you think? Can you explain to us what you think people expect to see when someone's got dementia
Because
versus where you
they,
were at?
they can't see it, Tony.
Yeah, yeah. It's not
If
like
I,
a broken arm or a broken leg
yeah,
or some sort of facial
and
issues.
if I
Yeah.
said I'd had bowel cancer or something, although I've just been through
Mm,
cancer, but
mm,
if, if I said I had bowel cancer, they would have been all around me, looking after me and all that sort of thing. But
yeah.
because I had dementia, I know I wasn't welcome anymore. That's how I felt. But I've made all these new friends, and I love Twitter. I've got over 10,000 followers there, and I spend an enormous amount of time talking politics, but I also advocate for dementia. We've just started a new series called Get Lost Expeditions, where we walk bush tracks around Sydney, and we make a video out of it. And
Oh, wow.
I've got a carer that does that. And the first episode went up, and I think we had about 20 or 25,000 views. And we're in the guts of doing the second episode at the moment. Um,
Wow. That's
and that
exciting.
and that
S-
shows that you can get out and about.
So,
I've got the dog,
you have.
Margot, my assistant's dog. She makes life a hell of a lot easier. So when I'm stressing out or I feel confused or lost, Margot picks up on that, and she'll
Mhm.
just stop me. So if I'm at the airport, for instance, and I'm getting a little confused, she'll stop, and I know it's time to sit down and just kick back and you know get going again when I'm confident. Um,
Can you talk about, Phil, what those moments are like for you? That moment of, to help people
uh,
to understand the issues, I guess, that people with dementia face, and what is that like internally? Like what is that like emotionally?
One word: frustration.
Yeah.
Uh, that's the biggest thing in my life is frustration, not being able to do the things that I used to be able to do, and it's how you deal with that. I used to get quite angry at first that I couldn't follow through with doing an Excel spreadsheet, that I was really good at, but I've
Mm.
lost all those skills. Um, but you've just got to put your mind elsewhere and do what you can do really well. And for me, that's advocacy. And I find it incredibly rewarding.
So
So
is it like you kind of find another skill? You yourself in this instance have found
no,
advocacy in a set of skills,
no, it fell into existing skills, Tony. I spent
right?
a lot of my adult life speaking at conferences and training and all sorts of things. So public speaking, I find very easy. Now, when I speak, I rely on my PowerPoint. I don't read from it, but um, that's important to keep me on track.
Yeah.
If I'm tired, when I speak to people, I find it very difficult to understand. I can't understand what they've just said, and I have to say, "Would you mind repeating that?" And people are usually 99% of the time very happy to help you out. So that's a little frustrating. Um, but I've got a pretty damn good life. I've got two great carers who are in Monday to Thursday for 3 hours each day, and that enables me to go out and get a haircut or see the
Mm.
doctor or go for a bushwalk or whatever it might be. And that takes the pressure off Jan, because Jan is still working full time, my wife.
Mhm.
Um, and particularly having an assistance dog, Jan doesn't have to worry about me as much. So if I go to the airport, Margot travels in cabin with me.
Mhm.
So she's around me 24 hours a day and provides an enormous amount of help.
Can you explain then, now that you mentioned Jan, who I believe is an amazing woman,
Yeah.
but can you explain to us a little bit about what it's like for partners then who have discovered their partner has got dementia?
Difficult. Um, you'd have to ask Jan. Um, um, that's difficult, Tony. I think I think she gets upset seeing me how I am some days because
Mm.
dementia is not consistent. It goes up and down. People think you're on a level playing field the whole time, but it. Oh, Tony, I've forgotten what I was talking about.
Well, I guess the point is that you could find that that there are moments where things tend to be kind of normal, whatever I don't know what
Yeah,
normal is, but relatively
yeah.
normal, and then you'll have moments, of course, of where things perhaps aren't. And I'm just wondering how someone like Jan, or I guess what I'm asking is, what advice can you give to partners who've
Um,
got partners whose partners have got dementia,
I,
given your experiences with Jan?
I, I think the person that has dementia needs to be super organized so they can do things around the house for your partner. Jan works full time, and I don't want her coming home to a house full of dishes and the vacuuming not done
Mm.
and all those little jobs because she's looking after me. She's working full time, although she'll be retiring next year. But even though I have dementia, I have a responsibility to do things as well. I just don't sit in on the couch and watch YouTube all day.
Mm.
So it's important for me to still be super active around the house to support her because she supports me. So, it goes both ways.
What about? Could you talk to us about the are there stages of dementia? Are there is there a sense that things are going to deteriorate? And I'm just wondering how you deal with all of those
Um,
issues.
for the last 4 days, oh, well, let's go back a month. I had melanoma surgery and then I had more surgery on my back, and the anesthetic has knocked the hell out of me. Um, the last 4 days I've found uh, extremely difficult. It feels like I'm still, half under the anesthetic, and I'm hoping that will wear off after a while. But um, yeah, it's really messed me about. So that hasn't been much fun.
How do you deal? It's a really good point, Phil. How do you deal or manage with those moments where you feel it's really difficult?
I go to sleep, have a sleep. I find that going to bed and having a couple of hours takes the hard part out of it. It gives me relief,
Yeah.
and sometimes I wake up and I feel a heck of a lot better. But there's two things. There's exercising the brain, of which I do via Twitter and speaking and all that sort of
Yeah.
thing. Um, what was I saying again, Tony?
Well, we're talking about the things that you do. If you're faced with
Oh, yeah,
those moments where you're really feeling under the weather and whatever. Yeah.
yeah. So it's mainly having a sleep, and
Yeah.
that helps. Um, I go for a walk with Margot down to the park quite often,
Yeah.
and that's good. But if I'm struggling a bit, like I have in the last 4 days, I find it difficult to leave the house because I feel safe here.
Yeah.
Um, but when I'm much better, I can virtually do anything. Um, but it's just the short term memory.
Do you
Uh,
tell Jan that you're feeling you're not coping? Do you let
yeah,
her know where you're at? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
is that in a so like if you're talking to, and you do a lot of this work, I know, but tell us if you're talking to a group of people who have got dementia,
yeah,
um, or their carers,
yeah.
what's the key advice that you tend to give to them?
It's organisational skills, Tony. Anyone that has dementia really needs to be thoroughly organised. I live on Outlook and calendar, so everything I do is diarised, whether it's vacuuming, doing the dishwasher, cleaning windows, or an appointment outside, whatever it is. It's got to be in my diary so I can constantly look at what's coming up. So if I look at what I've got at 10 a.m. and I complete that task, whatever it is, and then I've got something at midday, well, what I did at 10 a.m. is gone. I
Mm.
mean, there's not much hope of me remembering that. Um, again, Tony, you've got to help me out here.
No, that's all right. I'm wondering about so teaching yourself to be organised is
Yes.
clearly, is that because
It's
that is innate? Is that part of who you are? Though, Phil, were you an organised person in previous to
yeah,
all of this?
yeah, I am reasonably organised, but one of my a lot of my speaking engagements to people that have dementia and their carers is on how to be organised.
All right. Okay. Cool. Cool. So
And
it's you're encouraging people also to be organised. This is just
absolutely,
yeah,
because
yeah.
what it does is it gives you control of your life.
Mm,
If I didn't have a diary and know, sometimes there's something on every half hour, just a little job I have to do. But it's the beauty is that I get to do these little jobs, and I have a fantastic feeling when I've achieved them.
mm.
I can't do a lot of handyman stuff anymore, but there's still lots of things I can do. And just like anyone, you do a good job and you feel uh, rewarded by it.
Yeah, when you said that, I thought just that very fact that
Yeah,
all of us feel
yeah,
satisfied. If we've got a list and we can tick things off, we can feel good because we've done just that. We know what
exactly.
we've done. So
Yeah,
when you talked a little bit about forgetting things, so you start
yeah.
doing something. You did something at 10 o'clock. By 12 o'clock, you've forgotten it.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me what that sensation is like?
It's normal now, Tony.
All
Um,
right, okay, I get
so
that.
it doesn't feel
So you don't
um,
worry about it, or it
no,
doesn't concern you.
no,
Did
not at all.
did it at the
What
beginning though?
yeah, it did, but
Yeah.
now I've moved on. There's no point worrying about it.
Oh well, well done. Yeah.
Um, it's again the organisational skills help with that because I've always got something in my mind and a direction to go, and that helps alleviate a lot of the frustration. Not all
Mm.
of it, but being organised alleviates a lot of that.
Because that also means that you can your focus is looking ahead, isn't it?
Yeah,
Rather than
exactly.
looking backwards.
Yep.
So,
exactly that.
so is that a key advice you give to people? Is
Oh,
just to
yeah,
focus
absolutely.
on what's
Yeah,
ahead?
yeah, definitely. It's incredibly important. I mean, I can, the other thing, Tony, is I can turn the whole thing around with my diary because I can look at Jan in the morning and I'll have a few things down that she has to do that day. And she might be about to go off to work and I'll say, oh, don't forget to meet Jane at 12 o'clock. And, she goes, thanks, Dale. So I've been able to contribute in helping Jan because I've had everything listed down in the diary.
So you're the house secretary. Is this what you're
Yeah,
trying to tell
well,
us?
yeah, not quite, but it helps me um, understand what Jan is doing
Yeah,
and
exactly.
helps me contribute. Now
Yeah.
she may already know, but that's not the point. I can still remind her and be participating more on um, her level, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit though also about early onset of dementia? I don't know if we discuss that enough in our society these days. Can you tell us, like where that sits, and how many people that you encounter that have an early onset? Because we tend to think of it as an elderly person's problem, don't we?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly.
so can you talk about that for you, the early onset and what that's like for people?
Well, I've met and I know of a lot of people with younger onset. I've lost a couple of mates to it already that went down over a period of 9 months. They were just like me, and suddenly it hits you and you're on your way down. You can't do much about that. I mean, it happens. Um, Again, Tony, you'll have to help me
So
again.
what do you mean when you talk about on their way down? So they I'm
Oh,
not
they
too
were
sure if I understand what that
okay.
specifically means.
The memory gets worse. Communication is difficult. I've The big thing for me is when I was in a group or out to lunch, and let's say there's 6 people there, I can't participate uh, in 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 talking to the others because there's too many people talking. Number one, and I
Mm.
can't grasp what someone's just said and memorize it to come back with a comment.
Yeah.
One on one, like speaking to you now, is easy. I mean, I've got to ask you for reminders all the time. Uh, but yeah, it's difficult with a group of people. That's probably one of the hardest. And I used to be very out there, I guess you'd say, and perhaps the life of the party sometimes. But that's a dramatic change now.
So okay. So what is there? I was just trying to think of the right way to word this, Phil. So I do apologise if I get it wrong.
That's right now.
Um, the sense of enjoying life, I guess. To what extent is that still important to you? Because I get the impression you've kind of reinvented yourself to a large extent as a result of all of this, which is to be admired immensely. I think I love it. But
What
what is it that that look forward to that gives you hope and gives you a sense of purpose and meaningfulness? I guess.
the people I interact with, that that helps give me the most purpose. Um, the the people I follow on Twitter and the people that reply to my tweets, etc., helps exercise my brain. Um, if you're not exercising your brain, I think I've got a feeling you go down pretty quickly. I don't have fact-based information to back that up, but
Mm, mm.
that's what it feels like. And all the neurologists will say, um, exercise your brain and do uh, physical exercise. And I think physical exercise makes the biggest difference. For me, it's just walking with Margot in the bush or down the
Mm.
park and things like that. But again, it gives you that feeling of achievement
Yeah.
when you get back. It might only be small, but it still makes you feel really good, and it helps motivate you for the rest of the day so you can attack it and get on with it.
Yeah, so
Um,
I guess what you're saying too is that the activity, exercising your brain, not, I guess you haven't said this specifically, but not dwelling on the problem,
Yeah, or
is
getting
that helpful?
getting a solution for the problem
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the most important thing, and then carrying that out. And you've got to find solutions, and I've found solutions through Dementia Mates, how they do things. I've found an enormous amount of help from Dementia Australia. They're at dementia.org.au. And I know a lot of the personnel that work there, and they've given me the opportunity to reinvent myself.
yeah,
And that's just been
yeah.
fantastic. Yeah.
Can
So
people?
I'll keep going until I can't, essentially.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure you will. But is there this sense that there's still a long way to go for you? That you know
I,
you're extremely articulate.
yeah,
You seem so well organized. It's almost painful to watch, actually, Phil,
yeah,
because I'm the most unorganized person on this planet. But you've got many, many skills that are working for you in order to combat this problem and give life meaning. Um, is there a sense that life is looking good? I guess.
it is.
Yeah,
I'm a very positive person,
absolutely. Yeah,
and I don't sort of dwell on the negatives. Um, and I use my positivity to help others. That's where a lot of it comes from.
yeah,
But being able to help others gives you an enormous amount of satisfaction. Um, and it's just been fantastic for me. It's, as I said earlier, it exercises your brain, and I think that gives you more longevity.
yeah, yeah. So, and you made an interesting comment, I think, about the the way, and just correct me if I'm wrong, but the way dementia can just, if you let it almost sounds like you're saying, if you give it permission to take over your life, it can be extremely debilitating.
Yeah.
But you're
What,
saying that there are ways, I think, to control it to a point whereby it doesn't have to be that
yeah,
debilitating. Is that what you're
certainly.
saying?
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it comes to the stage, Tony, down the track where, you know, it's going to hit me and I can't do much about it. But up until then, I can do a hell of a lot, and I'll
Yeah.
keep doing a hell of a lot. I mean, Dad had dementia, and he went for 18 years,
Mm.
which is quite exceptional. Used a
Yeah.
lot with dementia, you can be gone in 7 years.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that the genetics from Dad will keep me going
A
for
long time yet.
yeah, a while
Yeah.
yet, Tony. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
perhaps I'm lucky there.
Yeah. Do you play golf like your dad did, incidentally?
No, I hate golf.
Oh, yeah, I hate golf. All right. Oh, well, we won't have that conversation because I love golf. So we won't go down there. I'm a passionate golf player.
Oh, is that
So
right? Oh,
you did.
listen, I'll drive the cart for you
Oh,
and
that's fine. Yeah.
have a few beers while you hit the ball.
That sounds like next time you're in Adelaide, mate. We must organise that
We'll do that.
for sure, without a doubt. So I just wanted to finish with just wondering whether you've got, assuming that there's some people who are watching this who have a friend, a family, family member maybe with dementia, or someone that has is on the early onset stage, I guess, of dementia. I
Yeah.
mean, what sort of key, apart from what you've just told us, which has been fabulous, mate, apart from that, what sort of things would you like to be able to tell them that you think would be
Um,
most helpful?
I think the most helpful is to get a thorough understanding of the condition. The
Mm,
more you understand about the condition, the more ways there are to get the most out of it. Um, it's the Dementia Australia website is incredibly important. There's three sections there. There's for the people that have dementia of any type, there's the carers, and then there's the medical professionals. So on that Dementia Australia site, you can see all three sections. But the section on for people that do have dementia is incredibly helpful. There's so many things in there to help you lead a real positive and enjoyable life. And I've learnt enormous amount from them. And I think apart from your GP as your first call, the second call is get onto the Dementia Australia website and learn about it, and ignore the people that put up so-called eat these vitamins or do these vitamins and you'll be better. You know, I don't believe any of that rubbish. I only work on fact-based information, always have. So I'm very fussy that if someone says something will work, well, I want to see the data.
And I think the important thing too there is that you're living walking proof that
Yep,
that the systems that you've developed to help you have been
yep,
successful, and that's
yep,
what counts.
yeah.
Just want to thank you, mate. It's been an absolute delight and a thrill to have you on board, and hopefully a lot of people will watch this video and benefit from it as well. Thanks,
Well, it's been
buddy.
a pleasure, Tony. Thanks for having us on.
Okay, mate. Thank you.
Okay,
So,
see ya.
see ya. So, just I'm really grateful that someone like Phil has had the opportunity to come on and talk to us about the issues that he's faced. There's people like Phil that are our heroes. They're the people that we should be looking for inspiration about how to deal with the issues that are in our lives. I'm sure Phil, when he was a much younger man, didn't expect any of this to happen to him, but it has, and he's found ways to manage it that are inspirational. So thanks everybody for being a part of this particular session. Remember to subscribe to my videos, to ring the bell for further notifications, because none of it costs you anything. Take care, everybody. Look after yourselves, and more importantly, be safe.